Cho'Gath. Vi is a pretty good blanket ban. Maybe it's a targeted ban at Juan or KT Bambi. Morgana targeted ban at Luboy. Another Warwick ban. This is the second Warwick ban today. Why players and their Warwick bans, I will never understand. You spectating, Jay?
I'm queuing it for CSGO.
Wow.
Nobody wants to buy.
The Zir ban, I don't know if that's targeted or whatever. Like, I don't know who any of these kids are. Fizz, I think Richie plays Fizz, so... First pick Nami. That's probably not getting locked in unless it's a trade for Luboy, since they want him to be on a comfortable champion. Luboy doesn't really play playmaking supports. He generally plays like AP supports like more Nami, Zyra, Karma. Alright, so they do lock that in, likely for Luboy. This is so weird. Again, we see broken champions like Gragas, Hecarim, Gnar, LeBlanc, Rumble, Nautilus, Callista. Like, there's an array of broken high priority champions here, and none of them are picked in the first rotation. Instead, we see a Zyra, maybe taken to just take it away from Luboy, and Malphite, which is likely a comfort pick from Shidatsu. Short Circuit with a Darius, potentially? Hovering Darius. When there's Hecarim up. When there's Gragas up. Cho'Gath as well. Yes, Cho'Gath is up and Vlad is gone. There's the Gragas from Quan. Of course, save us, Korean. The fucking one Korean player is like, oh, wait, Gragas is up. Free win. And a Rumble. That's sick. Two high priority picks make it to the second rotation, but if they both get picked up by the blue side, that's really big. Oh, he switched back to Darius. Ugh. Alright. Orianna, blind pick. That's pretty safe. She's like one of the safest blind pick champions you can have for the mid lane. She's one of, if not the most safe champion for mid lane blind pick. But I'm not sure you really want that with your only initiator being the Malphite. Like, if they were going to draft that, they would have been better off taking Leona, Alistair. Alistair's broken. Nautilus is broken. Ashe pickup. Ashe is pretty strong. Doesn't really fit that well with this team comp. But is a strong AD carry. I think they should have taken Sivir for their AD carry, but whatever at this point. Like, I don't really understand what their plan is. A Varus AD carry, pretty bad. Oh, okay, Jinx would be better. You definitely want the Jinx here. But also, oh, don't lock the Ahri. And they're in such a good spot for a LeBlanc, and they lock the Ahri. Like, Morgana's banned, and your enemy targets are all stationary with no escapes. That's a perfect LeBlanc pick. And it picks the Ahri. Sivir coming out for Luboy, really strong. Really good pickup. Oh, and the Gnar. The Gnar makes it to the last champion in the rotation. Being an incredibly broken hero, especially against Darius. Yikes. Really poor drafting again. I'd like to see just one game where drafting is good. in Hawaii, like not counting the Ishai games
Alright,
that I'm in. But
I'm gonna switch calls to CS.
all right,
Have fun watching the fucking retards.
man. I'll try. JDK has left us, and it's all on me and Alex, who doesn't also know I'm casting.
As I drink some water. All right. Now, as we wait 3 minutes for the delay time. I mean, here if red team can get that, if red team can group up and get that wombo combo off, red team is gonna be in a very good spot to win this.
Okay. We just go over the lanes here. Nami, Sivir, very safe lane. Zyra is an aggressive laner, where Ashe is a somewhat passive poke laner. They normally wouldn't mesh that well together, just going off that, but it's the fact that Zyra also has heavy poke that kind of makes them good together. However, against the spell shield and against the heal, I'm not really sure how relevant that will be. Especially since the Zyra isn't taking Ignite. Like we just talked about this last game, but in this case, the Zyra kind of wants the Ignite. Because they don't have a lot of damage dealers that can get in, like the previous game. Gragas is just a way better jungle than Malphite. Malphite's actually pretty terrible. One of the worst junglers in the game, as far as clearing goes, as far as ganks go early, as far as damage goes. He's just really mediocre. In the mid lane, Orianna's very strong. Ahri's very strong. I'm not sure how favored that is, simply because of the fact that there is an elo disparity between the two of them. It's really hard to say who's better, especially without seeing them. Ahri is generally the winner. That matchup. Oh, that's like Ahri's generally the one who should win this matchup, but we have Peely who's Diamond, Diamond 5, and we have him playing a Silver 5. So likely, Peely will just outplay him, and it's really on Quan or KT Bambi to equalize that matchup. As for the top lane, Gnar should absolutely eviscerate this Darius. There's not really anything Darius can do. Like, if you think about it this way, Hecarim's the strongest top laner in the entire game, and Gnar wrecks him. Hecarim does everything Darius does, but better, and with escape options. And more kill potential. You might say Darius has more kill potential, but I think that's actually very untrue. Darius ult does a lot of damage, but how does Darius get close enough, short of landing the hook? He's only going to hook the Gnar if he flashes, or if Gnar is in Mega Gnar, which means he will kill him anyway. And Hecarim also takes Ignite top with his TP, so certainly more kill potential on a Hecarim. So everything Darius does, Hecarim does it better, faster, and safer. And Gnar crushes Hecarim. So there shouldn't be any way for this Gnar to lose. In that regard, anyway. There's an immediate pause.
A summoner has disconnected.
Because Darius is able to move the character. Odd. What it happens.
A summoner has reconnected.
A longsword top for the Darius, really bad. Like if you're going damage, you either commit to the Dorans, or you just get a flask, man. Like, does he expect to not be hit by the Gnar? That's the only way that makes sense. If he expects to never be hit by Gnar, well then sure. That's better, I guess.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Like, the Gnar is not going to melee fight you. I don't think he knows that. Apparently, there's still some technical issues.
A summoner has disconnected.
Let's see. Well, since there's another pause, let's take this moment to look at this player's particular stats. We have a silver 4 mid laner, plat 3 support, a gold 3 jungler, a plat 3 AD carry, and a gold 5 top laner on the side. On the red side, we have an unranked Ashe player, a platinum 2 mid laner, a gold 5 support, silver 4 jungler, and a plat 3 Gnar. So the disparity in the top lane is it's a plat player who was plat last season versus a gold player who was gold last season. The Gnar also has a favorable matchup and a broken champion versus a weak champion in a non-favorable matchup with a bad starting item. So, to put it in simpler terms, top lane should be fucked. In the jungle, blue side outmatches the enemy jungler. Not just in elo, but in experience.
30 seconds until
Quan Kuji or KT Bambi used to be platinum. I believe he was diamond in season 3. I could be wrong on that, but he has played 16 games of Gragas this season, and I'm sure he's played it before, and he knows the pathing better. It's simply just based on his elo. And Gragas is the strongest jungler in the game. There's Gragas and Rek'Sai, but they excel at different things. Gragas is
has spawned.
more of a fighter jungler. He does more damage, has better ganks. Rek'Sai is more of a objective controlling jungler. Gragas is the best fighter in the game. Malphite can't even gank till level 6 effectively. And he has a very slow clear. You're gonna need a very strong leash here at this Gromp. Interestingly enough, KT Bambi chose to start bot side, which I think is a very big mistake on Gragas. The Gromp helps you clear so much faster than anything else, and the blue buff is very significant for helping you heal with your passive. I guess his plan is to level 2 gank. Not exactly something I would recommend doing. Except they completely catch out the bot lane. The issue is, he burns his flash. That was very bad. Like, you shouldn't have gone for that after Luboy missed the bubble. Or he didn't miss the bubble, rather. He didn't have the bubble. That was a very unsafe flash. It's flash for flash. And he also got the exhaust, but that delays his jungle quite a bit. I guess he's Gragas, so he can still red safely. But without the Q, it's a bit harder. In the mid lane, Peely, or Gurukep, is winning, as expected. He has the elo advantage. His champion's somewhat weaker, but the elo advantage is very significant. Also, if we just look at what he's done here. I'm looking at his masteries. Ooh, Peely actually has very bad mastery. That's curious. He has no MR at all against the Ahri. So that could actually equalize this matchup for the Ahri. That's a lot of damage from Ahri's poke that Peely will be taking unless he preemptively shields it. Peely also has utility masteries, which are significantly nerfed. I don't know if he's just not updated his masteries since the last time he played mid, but they're significantly weaker with the nerf to meditation. However, he is just outskilling him in the lane, getting a lot more farm. RS gets caught there. Blue Boy responds with a late bubble, preventing the extra damage, but Blue Boy is kind of not in the best spot right now with the way their champions work. Shidatsu's wasting a lot of time here. Like, he just wasted 10 seconds doing nothing. Need to go back to his jungle. Juan's red buff is going to fall off very soon, so we got nothing out of his first red because he started bot side. I guess you could argue he got summoners, but that doesn't really matter if they're this pushed under tower. He's not going to be able to follow up for quite some time. And this blue buff accomplishes really nothing, but helping him farm faster. They're going to try and gank the Gnar. It should most definitely not be successful. Blue Boy getting first blooded. That's a lot of poke, like I was talking about earlier. RS, no vision, likely dead here. He has to blow the heal. He needed follow-up from the... If the Malphite had follow-up, he was dead, but this bot lane doesn't really seem like they're on point. Healy still is crushing in farm, but the issue is Peely's out of potions now. And now he's getting ganked. He should be dead here. See, this is entirely Peely's fault. Not just because he didn't ward, but because he doesn't have MR blues. He has no defensive stat, and he has utility. So he's burned out of potions already. Where the Ahri still has potion. So completely out of potions and in an unfavorable position to be ganked because he has not warded. Malphite, very slow on his clear, like I was saying. He's behind a level, he's behind creeps, and he's behind an assist. Bambi here knows there's a ward, so you should clear it. You know there's a ward, Quan. There you go. There's pinks here for mid side, but they're not really pinks that accomplish anything. This will catch vision of a gank, but this is a very unsafe pink. And this accomplishes nothing except for avoiding getting dived, pretty much. Juan's gonna get spotted by this though. They should back off. They're not backing off. They got a flash there, but Luboy overextending quite a bit. He's probably gonna drop. This Gnar just got hooked by the Darius, which, like I was saying, is basically impossible. So really poor play from the Gnar. He should still be able to pick up an easy kill here, as long as he didn't get ulted. He jumped into the bush. Okay, what that Gnar just did for anyone who might be watching this replay, don't fucking jump into Fog of War when you have a ward. You could have warding totemed and right-clicked and won that fight. Instead, he jumped into Fog of War like an idiot. So you need to avoid doing that. He's actually losing in farm to the Darius as a Gnar, with a huge elo difference between the two of them. Favorable matchup. Better starting items. Higher elo. And losing. It's actually kind of mind-blowing. Blue team making a weird call to invade when he's spotted out by two different methods. People still don't know about this pink ward. This is what I was talking about earlier, about how Luboy doesn't ward. A great guy, and he's a good player, but his support play needs a lot of work in terms of conventional supporting. Luboy does not ward. This is knowledge that his team should have had by now. Luboy has a Sightstone. You can check his match history, like even from the LAN games I played against him last week. Even with a Sightstone, he only wards around 19 times a game, where the average support will have around 40. See, now he's going to get vision of this, but this pink has gotten so much value already. It's actually like paid for itself because it let them survive 2 ganks. That Shidatsu just went like full retard in his approach there. Like, you're approaching against 2 guys who have ranged poke, and you choose to walk the one way they get guaranteed shots on you. And again, getting hit for true damage is Peely. He's consistently getting hit for true damage from that poke of 2 AP champions. And he oomed himself there. There was no reason for Shidatsu to be there, unless they were going to try to one-shot them with the combo. And if that's the case, you ult from the bush. You don't approach here, get poked 5 times, and then ult. This bot lane is completely in Richie's favor. Like, despite the fact that Luboy has died from 2 pretty over-aggressive plays, this AD carry, he's unranked, so gotta give him credit for even having the 2 assists, is significantly behind in gold compared to Richie, and he has just saved the support with the heal, so he's doing a pretty admirable job for being in such a huge gold disparity. Richie is one of the better players in Hawaii. This Gnar is consistently disappointing me here, losing in farm. Luboy should be dead here. Ooh, that was a nice bubble to save him. That was a very nice bubble to turn that into a double instead of a... to turn that into a 2 for 0 instead of a 2 for 1. Quan pressuring the top turret, as is the Darius. Very big gold difference there. Like, there's no way a Gnar should ever be this far behind, and there's also no reason for the Gnar to be building a Frozen Heart. That's the reason he's behind. He's got no damage. You can't force him off of him. Like, if you punch this Darius enough, he's gonna back off. You're ranged and you're not abusing that. You're jumping into bushes instead of warding them and using your range. So he's in a very bad spot. Also, let's go back to talking about the junglers here. Both of them are making a pretty big mistake in keeping their yellow trinket. They could both have red trinkets here. They could both be clearing the map. Quan in particular is building that catalyst first. I'm not a fan. I think the first getting the Sightstone on the Gragas is much more impactful. But that Sightstone really provides a lot. However, he is up a Cinderhulk. Although the farm is even now, he is up a Cinderhulk. The Ahri's dead here. Like, but that's double ults for just the Ahri. It's double ults just to get back in the game for Peely. And they're gonna give up this dragon for it. There's no one to outsmite it. So it's 2 ults for a kill in mid, but that's for the dragon. Not really worth it at all. And oh my goodness, this Darius got a kill again. He's on a spree despite having everything stacked against him. Richie, a little late on the spell shield there. But this bot lane is just collapsed. If Richie rotates now, he's going to be able to have so much pressure around this map simply because their bot lane is non-existent. Oh, Peely really needs to get a chalice. It looks like he's building into Morello's, but he needs a chalice. He's taking so much damage when he doesn't have to be. Like, the Ahri is up an item on him. I mean, well, now he's not. They're even in terms of items, but the Ahri is still ahead despite having less gold. Or less, CS. Malphite finally has a Cinderhulk, but I don't think that's that impactful. Outside of his ult, the Malphite still doesn't really do anything. There's only one AD threat that's affected by the Malphite. And this is just a sloppy fight from both sides. Once that Darius gets here, it's going to be a different story, but... Oh, he saves the ult for Richie. They're not going to get any reprisal with that Darius. Richie did something really weird here in his positioning that led to his death. Boy going ham with that bubble. KT Bambi popping that Q because he missed the Zyra was a really bad idea. He could have held it for the Malphite who was going to walk over it. Or he would have forced the Malphite to move awkwardly around, which likely still would have led to a kill. So the state of the game right now is the blue side has a significant gold advantage. This lead mostly came from Nard defeating himself in lane, Malphite being mostly non-impactful. Peely, despite being a better player and displaying superior mechanics in lane, you can't dodge everything. And if you can't dodge everything and you have 0 MR, you're in for a bad time. The unranked Ashe, bless you for trying, but Richie is just far greater as a player. And it just leaves you in positions like that where you have to blow your ulti to stop Luboy from stunning you because it's instant death. Luboy, despite some missteps early game, and despite poor vision control, has been landing sick bubbles as well. Where the Zyra, despite getting those early kills, can't really do anything just because of the nature of how Zyra's played. That was a really early ult from Short Circuit. I don't think he expected that to get kill. But again, it's the story of... Oh, Shidatsu. That whiffed ulti. The Zyra ult doesn't really do anything unless there's plants already there. That does nothing. And there's Gragas doing Gragas things. setting up a kill for Richie. Like I've been saying, the story of this game so far is Shidatsu comes middle, and him and Peely piece together a kill, but they use so much resources on that kill that they give up an objective. That's the second time that's happened. In this case it was mid-turret. The previous time it was the dragon. And then they get picked off afterwards, having no resources left. They had the Malphite ult. Had it hit, it might have been a different story, but that whiff just absolutely like ruins their chances of ever accomplishing anything in a team fight. Like, the Malphite is not having a presence this game, except on his ganks in mid, where either he walks in and just straight up dies, or they blow double ultis to get a kill and give up an objective, which they did twice. This red should really be going to the Gnar, since the Gnar is actually more tanky than the Malphite. That was a really preemptive ult. It's not going to give anything. He should have waited till he was closer in range, or he should have stayed farther back so the stun would actually have significance. Instead, that was a 1-second stun. The dragon is up, and the blue team has full control over it, despite even being down a player. How can you contest this when Malphite uses his smite? On the hunt gets spot. Wait, that's not called on the hunt, is it? I think it's on the hunt, right? Sivir ultimate gets popped, and they just chase him down. Juan is really just putting on so much pressure this entire game. Even though his level 2 gank was a fail, he got 2 summoners out of it. That, like, just let Richie go off even harder than he would have. The threat of an exhaust down and the flash down just lets Richie play even more fearlessly than he already was. They're just picking off objectives on the side. Like, that's a fight in their base under inhibitor turret with ultis, and nothing comes of it. Peely still taking true damage from every spell in the game. Malphite just having nothing. No source of damage. Mediocre tank stats. All he is an ultimate right now. The Gnar being non-impactful, having gotten crushed in lane, having no damage. Ashe also incredibly far behind, opting to take the Bloodthirster instead of the IE. The lucky crit of the IE might actually have been helpful there, where the lifesteal is only going to do so much. And honestly, I think Luboy just walks away from this. There's a ward there, and they should know that, but Luboy didn't drop a ward in there. I don't know if he doesn't have a charge or what. This is a free Baron. Unless red team gets over there and the Malphite ults and smites. That's the only way it's enough damage to outsmite Quan. Like Quan didn't even get a sight stone, and they still have vision control here. The red's not contesting this. In a situation like this, double inhib down, Baron is up. You have to try and at least take the Baron, because you're not going to be able to hold out against a fed Sivir. Like, once they come to push, you're gonna have to fight them. It's better to fight them here in the Baron pit than here in their base, in your base, while they have Baron. Malphite ults away. That just takes away any chance they have of creating something for the next 112 seconds. Like, I really need to know if this Gnar player just doesn't play Gnar. He's played 9 games as Gnar. I really think 9 games as Gnar is enough to know that you're ranged and you need damage. Oh, Peely just gets absolutely slaughtered by that. You really need MR, buddy. You got 40. Can't be doing that. And yeah, there's really no hope after the Baron, but they could have at least gotten like some kills. They haven't gotten a kill for quite some time. Like if they can get a kill here, then it's not truly all in vain, right? Like if Peely had MR, he might be able to try and steal a kill here, but he doesn't. Like that residual damage, it chunked him so much. Just like Ludens took his health. And he's dead here. Well, they got those kills. They got a double kill, so 22-7 is a lot less impressive than 22-5, right? So they managed to get something out of that. Something is generally better than nothing, unless it's an STD. Just look at the damage here again. Like I was saying, Gragas is one of the best fighter junglers. He does a lot of damage. 7,000 damage. And that's not even with the right smite. You got a purple smite. Plus Gragas will opt for a red smite. 7,000 damage. That's more damage than the enemy jungler. More damage than the enemy AD carry. Almost as much damage as the enemy top lane. Only 2,000 off the enemy mid laner. 1,000 less than your Darius. Like, Gragas damage is incredibly high, and this is why he is banned. His utility is insane. Damage is insane. Not something you want to have around. Peely here, like, did okay damage. I think he had a lot of burst damage, but the issue is you can't really stay and do sustained damage if you're just getting killed. Like if you look at his magic damage taken, 7,749. If he had MR, that would be almost halved. Gnar, how he destroyed himself, I do not know. Short of that one time we actually saw him fuck up colossally, where he hopped into the bush instead of warding it, I don't know how he got wrecked by a Darius. Such a good matchup for the Gnar. The top damage dealer on the red side is actually the Zyra. Zyra was the only one able to consistently damage it. Yeah. Pretty unfortunate for the red side. On the other hand, it was impeccable play from the Gragas. Very good play from the Darius beating his counter, although I have a feeling the Gnar mostly defeated himself. Richie played very well, which is what you generally see from Richie, especially when he has a lead and he's able to play fearlessly. Blue Boy, very good bubbles. Very impressive. His warding needs work, his over-aggression needs work, but those bubbles were on point. Ari, despite being at a huge disadvantage against Peely in terms of player skill, had a favorable matchup, and Peely defeated himself with poor rune and mastery choices, leading to the Ari just like she doesn't have to even land all her skill shots to put you away if you have 40 MR. Zyra, very good play from the Zyra early on, but unable to carry the unranked ADC who looked very unexperienced at it. Malphite really did nothing the entire game. It's a bad pick, and it doesn't accomplish anything. Oriana, again, beat yourself with the build choice on top of the already bad masteries and runes. Like, if you had the chalice, that was at least a little bit of MR to keep you in the game, but you were out mechanicking the Ahri in lane. Just got defeated by mathematics. Gnar defeated himself somehow. I didn't really see anything except that one fuck up. Team advances.